A lot of times, children actively being groomed really just looks like a lot of love. Here are some subtle ways that my stepdad was actively grooming me leading up to him trying to make corn with me. When we're talking about grooming, we are talking about the abuser actively preparing the victim for what's to come. So a lot of times grooming won't be abusive and it'll actually feel really good and feel really loving. And the whole purpose of that is to gain the victim's trust. So to be fair, it can be hard to spot grooming when it's happening. But if we look at the bigger picture, I think I can give you guys a pretty good idea of what subtle grooming can look like. So to set the scene, I grew up in a household with my mother, my stepfather, my older stepbrother, and my younger half-brother. My stepbrother was actually my stepdad's son from a different marriage with my aunt. So yes, my stepdad at one point was my uncle, and my brother was my cousin, and my aunt and my mom, and it's really bad. There's a lot of incest in my family. And then younger brother is my mom and stepdad. And out of everybody in my household, I was treated the most special by my stepdad. He really was my best friend. I felt like I could go to him about anything because he had that much trust with me. My mom, on the other hand, we never, ever got along. I have one good memory with her my entire life when I was like 3 years old and we were dancing to Shania Twain in the living room. I don't even know. That's the most off-the-wall random memory, but it's the only good one I have, so I hold on to it for dear life. But it was well known, not only within our household, but actually within our entire family, how I was treated so special and so different from my brothers. I was definitely the favorite, right? Me and my stepdad would even joke about it. He would buy me special gifts often and tell me, don't tell your brothers, don't want to make them jealous. He would also do things like pick me up from school early randomly, or if I just texted him wanting to come out of school early, no questions asked, he would pick me up. Not my brothers, though. I could also get away with basically anything if only my stepdad found out because he didn't really care what I did. He only cared about making me happy. Even when it came to stuff that he wouldn't normally say yes to, he would typically say yes under the right circumstances. For instance, they were very anti-mud and messes, but I remember one time I had my friend over and we wanted to get in swimsuits and go make a mud pit and play in mud. Completely innocent. We were middle schoolers. It was literally nothing more than that. And he said yes and actually volunteered to take pictures for us. He would also do less subtle things like playfully tap my butt, make comments about my developing body, and then brush it off as just a joke. He would have me try on my swimsuits in front of him to make sure that they were appropriate in front of just him. And obviously, as the grooming goes on, the more intense the grooming gets, and it got to the point where he showed me his erect and ultimately led to where we're at now. But grooming is subtle. So pay attention to those kids in your life. Pay attention to that kid that's being treated extra special from that adult that has the opportunity to treat all kids equal, but they're choosing one to treat a little bit different. There is never a reason one child should be favored above the rest in any adult-child relationship. So watch out for that.